Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar of Finance Program and Quantitative Finance Program. My name is Ekachai. I'm the coordinator of these two programs. And on my right-hand side is Mars, and left-hand side is Melody. So
yeah, I'm Mars. So I'm a year 4, which is a final year student from QFIN, and I joined the QFIN family and the major selection exercise in 2017, which is not like after you directly take the HKUST and you get it.
I'm Melody. I'm also a year 4 student. I get admitted to the finance program through the program-based application back in 2016. And outside school, I also like to travel around and watching movies like that.
Okay, so let's first talk about BBA finance program. So what is finance? Finance is a subject that helps you understand how to allocate your capital or how to allocate your money. So for example, first, if you learn finance, you're going to be able to identify what kind of project will be more suitable for your business, which one will give you more profits. And once you identify your project, you have to learn how to raise capital, what kind of capital you have to use. And even for the individual level, you have to learn how to invest in which asset class, like for example, bond or stock or deposit money with the bank. And for example, right? So if you look at the chart that I'm presenting to you, each line represents different asset class. Okay, so for example, the red line represents small stock. The blue line represents some medium size or large company. So if you invest 100 in 1925, right in small stock, right now you will have more than 5 million. So, and if you see that each asset class gives you different kind of return, and it have different risk characteristics. So how could you know how much you should invest in each asset class? So if you learn finance, then we're going to teach you others. Okay, so let's see the curriculum. So in terms of curriculum, we have university requirement, business school requirement, program requirement, and elective. I want to point out that for the business requirement, you can see the blue one. We have accounting, ISOM, marketing, and management, among other classes as well. So why I point this out for you? Because this will be the difference between BBA finance and quantitative finance. Yes. For BBA finance, they will take every other class, including these 4. But for quantitative finance, you don't have to take these 4.
Skip it. Yeah.
You can skip it, but you can choose to take it as well if you want to. So you can see that for BBA finance, if you want to focus on overall features of the business, then maybe it's suitable for you. For example, if you want to join a management trainee program, you may want to understand finance, marketing, operation management, everything. But if you really focus on finance, and for example, try to price some kind of asset, do some kind of risk management, you know for sure you want to do only finance, then maybe quantitative finance may be more suitable. Okay, so this will be the main difference. So if you join us, then you're going to take a lot of interesting class, for example, investment, corporate finance, or do some kind of a training in Bloomberg, how to use a database. Bloomberg is the standard one for the industry. Learn some accounting as well, and you have a lot of time to choose elective. So in this case, you can see from this page, most of the required course will be done in the first 2 years or 2.5 years. And then you have plenty of time to do double major if you want to. A lot of students do double major in accounting, information system, or marketing, or econ. So it has a lot of flexibility. Or you can do double major in other school, or you do minor programs. You can do IT, data science, humanities. So there's so many programs for you. The program is very flexible. Yeah. So for exchange, more than half of our students do exchange right now, and we intend to keep increasing the percentage of students to go for exchange. We have at least 130 partners around the world with the top institutions. So let Melody share with us about her exchange experience.
Yes, sure. So last year I went on exchange at Bocconi University in Italy. I was very lucky because Bocconi is one of the renowned universities in Europe, and UST is their exchange partner. So I'm very glad that I can study there. And while learning, I think that their teaching style and learning style is quite different from in Hong Kong. That's why I can learn all the finance and international business knowledge in a whole new perspective. And besides studying, you can also see that I go on a lot of traveling as well. From these photos, I went to Iceland, Paris, and Greece as well. I think these are some very beautiful places to visit, and I'm very lucky that I have this chance to go on a once in a lifetime and go to all these places in a very young age.
Okay, sounds good. And is it difficult for our students to apply to join exchange program?
Actually, the requirement is quite easy to fulfill, I think, as well as the schools will give a lot of support on how to choose your exchange institute and where to go. They have a lot of info sections for us to learn more about the exchange program. So it's very easy if you want to go on exchange.
Okay, sounds good. So other than exchange, there are so many other activities at the program level. For example, peer mentoring program, we want the senior student to help younger students. So we match year 1 and 2 students to year 3 and 4, so that they can learn how to adapt to university life.
Sure.
So not only that, we have career CV workshop, interview workshop, and there's so many kind of workshops that you can join if you have time. And then we have a guest speaker. We have a networking event so that you can take advantage of the network with the alumni and the industry that we have. Okay, so how about you yourself? What kind of extra activities you join?
For internally, I also joined the finance peer mentoring and networking event that you mentioned just now. And externally, I also joined some case competition, because for business school students, it's quite common for us to go to this competition to help us utilize our knowledge and apply them into real life cases. So the photos on the left is me going on a case competition with my good friends. We work together and we have fun. And in the middle is my volunteering experience. Because the winter holiday in UST is relatively longer, so I used the time to go on a Cambodia service trip, which is for childcare education. And I think this is a meaningful way for me to spend my winter holiday there. And the one on the right-hand side is me being the organizing committee of the international case competition, and I was the buddy of the Korean team. So I'm very glad that I can meet friends from all around the world, and they are the top students from other countries as well. So when I am listening to their presentation, I really learned a lot from them. I think all these activities are very good to help me balance out my academic work and my personal leisure time as well.
Yeah, definitely. And as a program level, we want to develop students into a well-rounded individual and prepare students for their career. In terms of career, most of our students go for banking and finance, which is one of the largest industry in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And then accounting, consulting, and management. So, for example, if you're interested in banking job or some kind of management training, some students also want to join government as well. There's so many good career paths in the government sector. So these slides show us what kind of career our student has, and let's Melody share with us about her path, about her career.
I worked for 3 companies so far, and I think they're all very different. And during year 1, I think it's quite difficult to look for internships, but UST has a Head Start program that is specifically helping Year 1 and Year 2 students to look for jobs. So I worked in Beyond Venture. It is a company that invests in Hong Kong tech startups. So I have a lot of chance to chat with the founders and to understand more about the technological trends in Hong Kong. And during Year 2 summer, I joined another program that is partnering with some mainland companies. So I went to New Margin Ventures in Shanghai. I did a lot of research on some prospective Chinese companies, and through this program, I also meet a lot of friends outside the business school discipline, and it helps me to broaden my social circle. And this year, I worked in Willis Tower Watson as an investment consultant because of the nature of the consulting industry. So I can work on a lot of industries with many different characteristics. So every project that I worked on, they are very unique in their own way. I think all these internships are not only helping me to enrich my CV, but they're also helping me to explore what I like and what I don't like, and it's essential for me for my job hunting.
Sounds great. So thanks, Melody, for the insights about the career. So how about the finance program? So how does it really support you as a student to achieve your goals?
I think it is in two parts. For the knowledge part, the finance program, the curriculum can help me to understand more about the business world and have some technical skills as well. For example, the Bloomberg that you mentioned. And besides the technical part, it also gives a comprehensive package. For example, networking opportunity to network with alumni, and also have a lot of mentoring to help me get prepared for outside world as well.
I'm just curious to know. Okay, so for UST, a lot of time they say you are stress attention. But how about you? Do you feel that kind of stuff?
I think it's actually more about how you can deal with your tension, because there are stress everywhere, but the most important thing is you can manage your time wisely and you do not study at the last minute or to be a deadline fighter, then you can minimize all the stress and tension.
Yeah, so I think we all want our students to be well balanced, and we are more like how to say the stepping stone to the next one, right? It's a bridge between high school and work life. Yes. So I think we are in a well balanced position at UST. Exactly. So before we talk about quantitative finance program, I want to remind you that you can type your question, and if you type earlier, of course, there will be more chance that we're going to answer your question. And so we're going to answer your question at the end of our talk. So just type the question now so we can select your question. Okay, so next we want to talk about quantitative finance. And the difference between BBA finance and quantitative finance is that for quantitative finance, we also focus on quantitative skills. It's a finance plus quantitative skills in mathematics, statistics, programming. In BBA finance, they have these as well, but not as intensive. For example, BBA finance students have to study calculus and some programming. But for quantitative finance, in terms of calculus, they have to study many, at least 3, I think. Yeah. So instead of 1, at least 3. So that is the main difference. So the nature of job that these two groups will do, it has a large overlap, but at the same time it has different. For example, if you want to do risk management or do some kind of calculate the price of some complicated product like derivatives, then students in quantitative finance maybe have more tools to handle that. Okay, but if you focus on something like a managerial level in finance, for example, you want to be management trainee or something else, and there's a lot of students want to do something like IBD, right? Investment banking. Yes. So in that one, it will be kind of overlap, because for investment banking, corporate finance, it does not really require so much calculation.
Yes.
So for IBD, it will be overlap, but for something like a quantitative trading, then quantitative finance student will be able to handle a little bit better.
Yes.
But if you want more like a marketing, organizational behavior, then BBA finance will be the better one. So it depends on what you want basically. And if you want to do fintech, then our program actually in quantitative finance students in quantitative finance program can handle opportunities and topics in fintech quite easily. So in terms of the program structure, we have 40 students in quantitative finance program per year, which is different from BBA finance. BBA finance, we have around 150 in total. So this small program allow us to interact more with students individually. So that is a good part of this program. So you can see from the curriculum, right? It has 3 circles: finance, quantitative skill, programming, and data analysis. So the program is very packed. In terms of credit requirement, it has maybe twice as many credit requirement as a BBA finance program. So for quantitative finance program, it's more like a double major by itself.
Yeah.
In terms of credits. So, but I think our student can handle it, and then other courses that we force our students to take, it kind of help them to have the skill set to handle the tasks that they have to do in the finance industry.
Yes.
So I will let Mas talk more about the program curriculum.
Yeah, sure. I believe professor has given a very decent and detailed description regarding the syllabus. But for me, I have a deeper thoughts regarding how the program can really help us to ace a career or something like that. I think that for the whole program, it can be separated into 3 parts. The first one, it will be finance. I think the finance knowledge is very important because I think if you really want to break into the investment banking or the finance industry, finance knowledge is the prerequisite. And in the quantitative finance program, in terms of finance, we know how to, for example, they can teach us how to allocate our assets into different asset classes, which is very important skill in terms of if we want to pursue our career in fund house or assets management house. And also we will be touched by corporate finance, which is how to raise funds for doing projects, etc. So it is very important skill for investment banking as well. So I think finance is the first part. And the second one, it will be quantitative. As Professor has mentioned, we will learn some advanced math. And for those advanced math, it will be like linear programming, probabilities, and advanced calculus. These all skills can make us more analytical because in the end of the day, finance is like math. So if we have a strong mathematical knowledge, it will be place ourselves into a very strong advantage, especially if we want to be a quant trader, etc. And lastly, it comes to a part of how our skills can apply to the workplace. And as Professor mentioned, in the quantitative finance program, we can learn how to use Bloomberg. And Bloomberg is a very big and universal data vendor. And if we know how to use it, we can definitely place ourselves in an advantage when it comes to the real workplace. For example, when a manager asks you to find data, and then you can immediately use the shortcut functions, and you save a lot of time. And also in the program, we stress a little bit more in programming, and it's a commonplace for us to know how to use R, Python, and VBAs. And these all are very hands-on skill for us. It really saves us a lot of time, and it can kind of show off in the interview, and it really helps us to increase the chance for being hired.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Even though our program look very condensed, but it's also flexible enough for our students to declare additional major. For example, if you are interested in computer science or fintech, so you can combine quantitative finance with computer science degree. So right now we have 21 quantitative finance students do double major in computer science.
Yeah.
So and those students will have the skill set that can handle any task in fintech quite effectively. So even though we don't name our program fintech, but definitely if you want to do fintech, our program has some channel for you to take advantage of the structure of our program to do something in fintech. So if you are interested in some other areas such as accounting or some other thing like mathematics, you can do double major in anything actually you want. So if you can handle the course workload.
Yes.
But I just want to give you example. So even though the workload is a little bit high, this year we have one student who do triple major, quantitative finance and some other two technical major.
Yeah.
So it is possible for you to do several things at the same time if you can handle it. And we have many kind of minor programs such as actuarial mathematics, infotech, humanities. Some quantitative finance students want to do humanities as a second major, because we have so many quantitative subjects. Sometimes they feel like, oh, they want to balance it out, so they declare humanities as second major. Okay, so let's see. This is an example of exchange that our student joined in the past few years. So exchange partner at UST is come from a very good university in the world. So I think we have very wide selection.
Yeah.
And you can see that more than 50% of our students join the exchange.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So for the exchange, usually they go in third year, right? So
yeah, usually. So yeah, for me, maybe I share a bit about my exchange programs. Like I think for exchange, I think it's very commonplace in QFIN because we can actually easily pass the academic requirements. So I think it's very easy, and usually we can get some good schools. Like last year, I went to the United States, the Emory University, and it's a very good one because it really helped me grow in terms of two parts: personal and academics. For academics, I took two like very inspiring courses, which are international finance and quantitative way in fixed income. And both of them stress very much in the project base. For example, in the fixed income part, I really have to like value the whole fixed income using the straight price, like in the Excel sheet. And in the international finance course, I have to do a fun project, which is to analyze the turnkey prices. So I think all of them are very interesting, and it really helped me to put my knowledge into the real workplace, like work with different people in different backgrounds. And in the personal parts, I think after the exchange, I become more resilient because I learned how to because in exchange, I think Melody will feel the same because we have a lot of new friends, and many of times we have to bear the alone time. So I think I become more resilient, and I know how to adapt to a new social circle, which is a very important skill when it comes to the real workplace. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see other activities for this program. We have plenty of activities. We also have peer mentoring program for quantitative finance students. Yeah. We have something we call CML. Okay, so career mentorship program. The mentors, they are professionals from the industry.
Yeah.
Some of them are CEO. Some of them chief investment officer, managing director. So most of our mentors come at that kind of high level executives. Yeah. So students can learn a lot from them. So we also have guest speakers who are alumni and industry experts as well. So our students can learn from those experts. So, and I forgot to mention we have sports day, right?
Yeah.
Sports day. I think you help us organize it.
Yeah, I organize it, and I really take a joint part. Like I joined a badminton competition. I play in pair and compete with professors, and it is very interesting. And I also joined basketball team as well. Yeah, you can see that my pictures later.
Okay, let's look for mass picture.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is the mentorship program. You can see the mentors come from many companies. They are very high level executive. And for the mentorship program, both peer mentoring. So for peer mentoring, any student can join.
Yes.
So if you want to, and then we're going to match you with the mentors. Okay, so you can have someone who guide you. And for this CML, it's now it's focused on quantitative finance program.
Yeah.
Is again any student who want to have mentors, you can choose to join.
Yes.
And if you want to join, we're going to have mentors for you.
Sure.
And usually the proportion will be 1-to-1 or 2-to-1.
Yeah.
So 2 students, 1 mentors, or 1 student, 1 mentors.
Yeah.
And we kind of have the luxury to have so many mentors, so that it's not a problem at all if you want to join this thing.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes they also give you interns.
Yeah.
So, but that is not the
Depends on
purpose.
you.
That is not the purpose. The purpose is to let them guide you in terms of thinking process, how to progress in your study and career.
Exactly.
So this is sports day. Do you see your photos there?
Should be the slide about regarding my extracurricular activities.
Okay,
I play
okay.
basketball.
Okay. I think this is a sports day for last year. So the blue T-shirt.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, this one. You can see my playing basketball here.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I talk a little bit regarding my extracurricular activities. So I think majorly like my activities are focused in year 2, and in my year 2 I joined 2 major ones, and one of them is more aligned with finance, which is I like the most. That one is traded at HKUST, because why I like it so much because is that the society is totally led by students. It means that it's like a student-led society, and it gathers people who want tradings together. It doesn't mean that everyone is very technical, but at least everyone has a passion. As a result, like every sessions, people like every students will form a group and then to present their trading ideas and kind of like make a PPT deck regarding like equity research and represent to the students. So I think the whole process is very interesting, again, because we can apply our skills that we have learned into like the real time, the daily life that we analyze the stock. And also the background may include some people studying computer science, and they will really like use some software to do some quant trading. So it really like give me a high exposure in different aspects. And the second one, it will be either in HKUST. So this one I think is very interesting as well, because it can kind of make a balance between my academics and extracurricular activities. And at that time, I'm the manager of the outgoing global talents team, which means that I'm going to like advise people, students in HKUST, to go abroad to do some internship. And I have to lead a team of 5, and like to do the tasks regarding marketing and then client facing and kind of program searching tasks, etc. So it's very fruitful. And also I have some similar experience with Melody, which is the case competitions. The one really make me remember the most, it will be the UBS GCO case challenge. Why I say so? Because I did that case competition, I mean the preparation stage in Beijing, and the internet is very slow. I need to use a lot of time for data, like information searching, and one of the takeaway is that I meet a lot of good because QFIN is a very small cohort, and I can easily meet some people who share the same passion for me, and then we can work together and work something good like the case competition, and I finally got into the top 5 team in the Hong Kong regions. So I think it's very meaningful and fantastic.
Okay, sounds good. It seems like you say in before year 2 and year 1 you have a little bit of fun time, and then in year 3 and 4 you shift your focus on career. So that is a typical part of our students.
Yes.
You have year 1 and 2 to explore what's going on and adapt to university. And year 3 and 4 you start to identify what do you want to do after you finish from UST.
Exactly.
And then I think you mentioned a little bit about forming teams with students in the program.
Sure.
And I heard from many people saying that being in quantitative finance is quite competitive. And then, but at the same time, I have a feeling that our students collaborate a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, how do you feel about our communities, or how our students collaborate with each other? Do you feel? How do you feel about that aspect?
I think our professor has used a very good word, which is collaborative. I think rather than competitive, I think collaborative is much better because we have 40 people, and in the labor market, it's much more jobs. So I think the best way the way that we are doing currently is that we're collaborative with each other. For example, help each other to prepare interviews, and if you have that industry knowledge, and then we share with each other. So I think that in such cohort is not competitive at all, but at the same time, it really helps you to increase your competitiveness outside the school. So I really like it.
Yeah, and in terms of student diversity, I think in the program we have maybe 40-something% Hong Kong, 50% Hong Kong, 50-something% Hong Kong, a little bit more than 50%.
Yeah.
And the rest will be mainland Taiwanese, and we have some other foreigners as well, come from Indonesia, sometimes Korean, and Malaysia,
for diverse.
India. So we have quite a good mix of students. Let's look at the career of our students. So you can see from these slides, almost everyone go for banking and finance.
Yeah.
It is very rare for our student not to go for quantitative finance student not to go for banking and finance. The reason is that when we select students through the interview, we try to select the one who really want to do to have job in the finance industry, basically. So it's more like a selection and also student interest as well. Some students decide to do something else in other industries. Someone want to work for government, want to be a consultant, someone want to do further study. So from the slides, you can see the example of further study in a master degree. So I'm proud to say that in the past 5 years, if I remember correctly, for students who go for master degree, they go to only this type of university and nothing else, like MIT, Princeton, Columbia, Carnegie Mellon, U of Chicago. So I think there's no other university in the list in the past 5 years. So it's like so basically you can look at it as, okay, we have our education in Hong Kong, which is a world-class education, and at the same time our degree is recognized by top universities. So it's very good. So how about your internship?
I think my internship is very diverse. I would say that for example, I did FXCM, which is like a market maker in Hong Kong, and I have more experience. Like I did the China securities in Beijing, and I also involved myself into credit rating agency like Quantitative. So next slide. And also maybe one which is worth mentioning is the last summer job, which is the one in DCM, but that's capital markets in Central Bank, because it really helps me to land my graduation job as well, because I got the return over, and it really like I have a taste of how to be a investment banker, because I have to stay very late and I need to afford some real life deals, which is all new to me, and I've really enjoyed the very steep learning curve.
So I think in terms of career prospect at UST, our student is very well recognized by the industry. So if you look at the ranking, right, in terms of employability index, UST as a whole, we are number, I cannot remember now, maybe 15 of the world, right? 15 or 16. So and at the department level or program level, I am comfortable to say that probably student in quantitative finance program has the best career prospect. So we cannot review the numbers exactly, okay, but I can tell you that we are comfortably saying that we have if not the best, it has to be one of the best career prospects across Asia for the business program. So how does QFIN help you prepare for your career or life after university?
I think major 3 points. First one, it will be like the all-round curriculum. Like I've mentioned, the syllabus is very complex and all-round. It really helped me to equip the skills to ace the interview and apply into workplace. And it's down to earth enough. And second, it will be the helpful community, because as I've mentioned, our cohort is small and we have mentors as well. And we can always raise the questions, and there must be a guy that will be willing to answer you. And lastly, it will be about the renowned reputations, because I would say that QFIN is a quite renowned program in the workplace, and whenever we raise this name, then the HR, like the manager, will be, wow, it's a good program. So I think I tried it and it works. So I think these are the major 3 points.
Okay, so if you are interested in knowing more about our program, you can follow us through Facebook page of BBA Finance. And then in the near future, we will develop the LinkedIn page for BBA Finance as well. And then we have Facebook page and LinkedIn page for Quantitative Finance. Okay, let's answer your question. How do I know I'm a suitable candidate for the Quantitative Finance program, both academically speaking and in terms of personalities? Oh. How about I let Mas talk first?
Sure. So I think for academic, I think first of all, you should be like very comfortable with mathematics, because as our name mentioned, quantitative finance, even though you are not very elite or have a very huge capacity in math, I think you at least to feel very comfortable, because most of our courses you have to do some calculations. But don't worry that if you didn't study like M1 or M2, like what I did in my HKUST, I pick it up in my university school life, and I would say it works. As long as you are willing to put much time into it, and you can ace it. And secondly, in terms of our personality, I think the first and the most important of all is that you have passion in finance. Like if you in the first year, I recommend if you want to enter QFIN, you have to join a lot of activities, like try to find some internship with more related to finance, and also join some financial talk, which is hosted by very prestigious guest speakers, so that you can show that you're passionate in finance. And read news, I think, is a must as well.
I think joining quantitative finance is a very huge commitment in terms of studying the workload that you have to face. So you have to make sure that you're really interested in finance industry. I would recommend you to read more financial news, so that you know what kind of thing you're getting yourself into. Try to find more information, talk to more people about what kind of job finance people actually do. Okay, so because what you think and the reality may be a little bit different, and sometimes after you know the reality, the type of workload, maybe you're going to have a different kind of direction. So of course, I agree with Mas. You have to be good at quantitative subject. So that is a must. And in terms of personality, I think we want to find people who have good work ethic. What does it mean? So people who work very hard, continue to keep learning, and then have some kind of team concept. So because right now if you look around, it's very difficult to achieve something important alone. So you have to learn how to work together as a team. Even find jobs, a lot of times students find jobs together, because you have to share the interview question, you have to share some kind of list of the job you can apply. To work alone is very difficult. So our students, a lot of times they work together. So you have to have a team concept, and you have to set your own goals, try to achieve your goals, and then look at your friend as your ally, the one who can help you to achieve better outcome. So you should not look at each other as competitors, I would say. Like Ma says, the industry is so big. So I think finance industry in Hong Kong has hundreds of thousands of employees, and our program is two programs combined is less than 200 students. So we have to help each other, have to have a team concept, and don't be too stressful that your friend is a little bit better. Because I mean, at the end, 10 years or 20 years from now, you will think that, oh, it's good that my friend is the CEO of some company, so that I can ask for help. I want something to get done. It's good that my friend is a managing director. So you will not want your friend to be something who is below you 10 years from now. You want your friend to be above you. So and then we want to look at each other as someone who can collaborate now and the future. So it's great that we have a lot of talents in our program. So you have to have that kind of mindset when you want to join this kind of program. So an M1 and M2 is it required for admission to quantitative finance? Would applicants from the art stream be disadvantaged in admission? The answer is, when we look at the admission criteria, we don't really look at M1, M2. It's not a required. Okay, it's just one of the components, same as other subjects, basically. Exactly. So if you don't do M1, M2, it's okay. So we use the admission formula that we show on our website. So, and your score, admission score, will be based on that formula. We don't have add-on feature on the formula. So we don't do that. Okay, so don't worry about that. So what is the size of quantitative finance? The indicative quota for quantitative finance is around 40. Yeah. So every year we have around 40. Yeah. And for BBA finance, we have 100 first major, 30 additional major, and we have extra for the global business students. So in total, each year we have around 150. So, okay, next question. If I'm admitted to business school and select major after 1 year of study, what are the criteria I need to meet to get into quantitative finance and finance major? And what is the GPA requirement? Let's talk about finance major first. I think the criteria is very simple. We follow the business school kind of criteria. For most of the BBA program here, we go to look at a specific course in that area to allow you to choose major. For example, if you want finance major, you have to do well in the first year. There's a course, corporate finance. If you get good grade in that course, then you get in. So it's just that simple. Okay, so I think for major selection, I want to give you a little bit of tips, right? So you can see that a lot of major require a good grade. So in this sense, sometimes, even though you don't know which major you want, but maybe you identify 2 or 3 major, and you just try to do well in that 2 or 3 courses so that you can get in those major easily later if you want to. Okay, yeah. So that will be the trick for major selection. For quantitative finance program, we want students who really focus in career in finance. So we're going to look at your resume, we're going to interview you so that we know it's a good match. Yeah. Because a lot of activities that we do, it focuses on finance industry. If you don't have interest in finance, then coming into the program will not be a good use of your time. And for the academic part, it's also very important. So we look at GPA, interview, resume. So if you ask me what is the weight, right? The weight will be almost half GPA, almost half interview, and maybe 10 or 15% in resume. And if you notice, Mars look very busy when we talk about activities. We actually would like to see that you are pretty busy in the resume. Why we want to make sure you look pretty busy in your resume? Because for finance job, time management is very important. So we want students to look quite busy so that we know these students have the mindset to be ready to join this industry. So if your resume has only CGA 4.0 and nothing else, sometimes we don't really favor that student. Yeah. So if we have someone with CGA much lower, but have a lot of activities and show interest in finance, then it's going to be much better. Yeah. So we look at everything. So and the weight is just what I explained earlier. So next question, if I am still choosing between finance and quantitative finance, should I apply through the school? What is the best strategy? Okay. So I think if you ask me if I'm a student, it depends on either JUPAS or non-JUPAS. If it's JUPAS, if you really focus on these two programs, then you should choose Quantitative Finance in band A1, BBA Finance band A2, and then B&M in band A3.
Yeah.
So that's it. That will be your strategy. But if you are non-JUPAS, then I think you choose Quantitative Finance as first choice and BBA Finance as second choice. And that's it. If you don't get these two, sometimes if you are qualified, the school will automatically give you B&M offer. So you don't have to choose B&M. We will give you offer usually. So you can choose these two as your choice. Can I put 2 UST program based and 1 UST school based? Yeah. So you can. Yeah, you should do that. If you want to join UST, you should do that. And even though you change your mind later, okay, so you can always drop your major. So you get into major first. For example, you get into BBA Finance first, and then you change your mind. You can always drop your major and then join major selection.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you join BBA Finance through major selection?
No, I through the program based.
Program based. Must join Quantitative Finance through major selection. So basically, you can always drop your major later. So the good strategy will be have some major first, so that you have free option to drop it if you want to. Like if you join Quantitative Finance and you want to drop to join GBAS, we would not mind. Okay, yeah. So it's okay. We want our students to choose what they really like. If I get admitted into program directly, can I join QFIN or finance activities? A lot of programs a lot of activities will be program specific. So sometimes we don't open to other students. For example, peer mentorship program of BBA Finance. If you are a student in marketing, you cannot join. But at the school level, we have so many mentorship programs. So okay, so don't worry about that. We have career mentorship program as well, and peer mentorship program at school level, and some other major also have this kind of thing. So if you cannot join the activities of our program, so don't worry about it. Actually, there are too many activities you can join. So you will not have time to join everything. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
So can students in BBA Finance take courses from the Quantitative Finance major? Okay, so every course in Quantitative Finance major, anyone can take it, except only 2 or 3.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so one is Introduction to Finance, which is just a basic level of finance. It's just that the purpose of that one is more about trying to get everyone together in the same class so that everyone know each other. Yeah. So the second one will be Bloomberg. For Bloomberg, BBA Finance can take it, but other non-finance major cannot.
Yeah.
And then the last one will be Quantitative Trading. Only Quantitative Finance student can take it. If you come from other major, you cannot take that one. And the skill set required for that one will be very challenging for non-quantitative finance. You need to take all the maths, all the programming. So if you didn't do all those, there's no point to take that course because in quantitative trading, you need to use all those mathematics, statistics, and programming skills to come up with the trading strategy. Keep tracking those strategy, whether it perform well or not. So you have to write some programs. So if you're not from this quantitative finance program, I think it's going to be too hard to handle. Okay, when will be the JUPAS interview? Next question. Late April and early May for every program at UST. But for the student who passed the first round and want to join quantitative finance, we have second round interview in June. So and in the second round, usually what we do is that we also invite alumni and the current student to come back, and then everyone who get interviewed in the second round will have a chance to talk with alumni and current student. So you can ask more questions and learn more from them. Okay, last question now. Would there be any support for students planning to take professional qualifications such as CFA? Okay, so for CFA, our UG programs, both these programs, will have a quota for scholarship. There will be the quota for scholarship will depend on how many quotas CFA Institute give to us. But there will be few scholarships for us to share, and that scholarship will help students save a lot of money.
Yeah.
So probably $2,000 US.
Yeah.
So we have that. So in terms of scholarship, I think our school have quite a large amount of scholarship, right? In many ways.
Yeah.
Just not only one channel. For example, for exchange study.
Yeah.
Is it difficult? Like for example, if the student don't have much money, do you think they can still go for exchange?
Yeah, definitely we can. I believe Melody and I both got the basic scholarship for the exchange program. How about you?
Yeah, I also got a scholarship that sponsored me to go on exchange, and it's also very good support for other students who may have some financial difficulties as well.
Yeah, so don't worry too much about that. Okay. So if you don't have any, if you have more questions, okay, please feel free to email us. And you have our contact information on the last page of our presentation. We have contact information for everyone who involved in this. And so that's it for today. Thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks, Melody. Thanks, Mark. So see you next time. Hope to see you at UST.